everyone, welcome back to Totally Prone. This week I wanted to actually talk about dynamic disabilities and mobility aids. So like I mentioned in my last video, I do use mobility aids from time to time. And what I mostly wanted to talk about with that was a dynamic disability. Now, it's not something that's very talked about. It's not something that I heard of until more recently. I knew, over the past 4 years, yes, sometimes I need a cane to help me walk, and yes, I need a shower chair, but I didn't really have a name for what this all meant. So once I discovered what a dynamic disability was, I just resonated with it, and I was like, yeah, that's me. So what is a dynamic disability? So a dynamic disability is when your symptoms can change from day to day. For example, today I don't need my cane to help me walk around. I don't need my mom to help me get out of bed. I don't really need any of my assistive devices. But tomorrow a flare-up could happen and I could be bedridden and need my cane to walk to the bathroom, So it's just basically a disability that differs from day to day. With that being said, not everyone who has AS would consider themselves to be disabled because AS affects every single person differently. But for me personally, I do consider myself to be disabled and dynamically disabled because I do sometimes use a cane and I can't work a full-time job and do what I used to be able to do. So therefore, I consider myself to be disabled. Now, like I mentioned, not everybody who has AS or a chronic illness considers themselves to be disabled. That's okay. Not everyone who is disabled has a chronic illness. That's okay. So along with this, I wanted to talk about mobility aids because I do use mobility aids and I want to kind of talk about what I use. So I do have a cane that's right here. She's beautiful and sparkly and lovely. So yes, I do use a cane when my pain or fatigue is flaring to the point where I cannot walk on my own. And I also use a shower chair. So one thing people probably don't realize with having a chronic illness or AS in general is standing for long periods of time is very exhausting and can cause a lot of pain. So therefore, standing in the shower is like a job for me personally. So I bought a shower chair about a year ago, and it has been probably the best decision I could have made for myself because I no longer have to stand in the shower and take that physical toll on myself. Now, that being said, still with the shower chair, I am exhausted after showers. That's just, I think, something that I'm gonna have to deal with for the rest of my life. Just the fact that showers are very, very tiring. But the shower chair definitely helps. So I would highly recommend it. Personally, I would probably want to get one with a back in the future just because it's something to lean on. I don't have to keep myself up. So that's something to think about when you are shopping for a shower chair. And yes, I also use a cane like I just showed you. And that is something I had to come to terms with once I got sick. I went with a friend actually downtown Toronto to go to some antique stores and find a really cool cane. So if you can see back here, there's a wooden stick. That's my old cane. Because I wanted it to be something that I thought was pretty because I would be more likely to use it if it is something I liked. So yeah, I bought a really cool antique cane, and then just recently I actually bought this sparkly cane because I thought if it's something I'm going to use for the rest of my life and something that I'm going to need to take in public sometimes, which is another struggle on its own, I want it to be something that I love and something that I think is beautiful because that'll just make going out in public with a cane a lot easier. That being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about using a cane in public, because as you know, I am younger. I'm 24, about to be 25, and I've talked to a lot of people with chronic illnesses that struggle with the idea of using a cane in public or a scooter. So my advice, if you are struggling with that internalized little bit of ableism, is to, one, find something that you love the look of, even if it's just like a normal cane, you know, like those gray ones. Decorate it if you want, like add some fancy tape, add some, I don't know, like stickers, add anything to make it more enjoyable for you and make yourself more comfortable. Because personally, once I found something like this cane that felt like me, that really helped me out with going out in public with it. My second tip is, the first few times you use your cane in public, if it's possible, to go with somebody. So I recently went to Walmart with my cane, and I went with my mom because I knew that would be a lot easier to go with somebody and have somebody there for the emotional support if anything were to happen, and just to know that, like, oh, someone's here with me, I'm not all alone. After about like 5 minutes, I realized no one's even looking at me. No one's looking at me different. Nobody really cares. And I just felt this sense of like empowerment. I was like, yes, like I can be my true self in public. And it just inspired me to want to use it more. Back when I first had symptoms, I would try my best to compose myself in public, and I would try my best not to limp and show that I was in pain and show that something was different with me. But honestly, nobody cares. And the confidence you get once you do use it in public is something that is honestly magical, and I never thought I would get there. Also, a little story I wanted to share with you guys is, I used to go to concerts a lot, back when concerts were a thing and COVID was not. And I remember there was one concert I was going to, and I was in a lot of pain that day. And I texted my friend and I said, hey, do you think I should use my cane today? Like, should I bring it with me? And they were like, oh, well, you know, are you gonna want to have that with you the whole time? Like, just think about that. And I was like, oh, you know what, I guess not. Like, I'll just deal with the pain. Once I got to the venue and was lining up, is when I noticed a girl around my age with a cane. And the just absolute confidence and sense of self that she was like exuding was something I longed for at that time. And I just was so inspired by her, and I was like, wow, you know, she didn't care what anyone else thinks. She just did it. She went out there and did it. And that is something I hope we all get to feel one day, is how that girl felt at that concert, and how I felt in Walmart is something that is just amazing. Just being able to be your true self and not hiding that, yeah, I use a cane. Who cares? What of it? Yeah, I'm disabled. Who cares? You know, I have a disabled parking permit. And if I'm in a particular amount of pain one day and I need to use it, I don't care if people look at me. I'm also disabled. I got it for a reason, you know? So that's something I also wanted to bring to light on my channel, was the presence of invisible disabilities in the world. And it is something I will talk more about in a future video, but I just wanted to kind of bring that up. Yeah, I may not look disabled, but what does disabled actually look like? So that's something to think about. Yeah, I'm not, you know, in a wheelchair. I don't use a cane all the time. I don't walk with a walker all the time. That doesn't mean that I'm not disabled and I need help from time to time. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and show you my mobility aids. And hopefully that will, you know, help you if you have been thinking about getting a shower chair. Go and do it. Look at your options, think about what you would need. Do you need a back on it? Do you need just like a stool type thing like I have? If you've been contemplating getting a cane because you need help walking, do it. Just do it, because it's helping you to become your true self and what you need. And someone who doesn't care about what other people think and just does what is best for them is someone who I admire and I respect. And who cares? Who cares if you need a cane? Own it, you know? So yeah, that's what I want to talk about this week. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. The amount of support I got on my last video was so amazing and overwhelming, and I just want to say I'm very excited to be here on this journey with you guys. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope 2021 has been okay so far. I know the world has been scary lately, but just make sure to take care of yourself and do what makes you feel good. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!